Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेषाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने। श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुरी जल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते धीरतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत द्वान्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्ते विपुलंबर सांबोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंदनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते। गौराविर्भाव भूमि स्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जना प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपः स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यां नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सरतौ पंगुर्मम मंदिरमतिर्गति मत्सर्वसुपदाम्बोजौ श्री राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्यवृन्दारण्यं कल्पाद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा शील गोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठादिसेवमानुस्मरामि। श्रीमान रासरसारंभी वंशीवटतरस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रीयेस्तु नः तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Requesting all to keep your videos on. If you are at office work, you can hear the class, but if you are at home, my request is just keep your videos on. Hare Krishna. To fifth verse. Now before that, we'll chant all the 4 verses. वाचो वेगं मनसक्रोध वेगं जीवा वेगं मुदरपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विषहेत धीरः सर्वामपि मां पृथिवीं स शिष्यात्। अत्याहार प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रह जनसङ्गश्च लौल्यं च षड्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति उत्साहा निश्चया धैर्य तत्तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागा सतो वृत्तेः षड्भिर्भक्तिर्प्रसिद्ध्यति ददाति प्रतिगुणहाति गुह्यमाख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम्. Gadadhar Prabhu chant all the 4 verses. Then Vaishnava Prabhu will chant all the 4 verses. Then Narayan will chant all the 4 verses.
Hare Krishna. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam juva vegam udarapastha vegam etan vegan yo vishaketa adhiraha sarvam apimam prativim sa sishya atyahara prayaschasya prajalpo niyamagraha
Prayasascha.
atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulamcha षड्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति उत्साहान् निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्तः षड्भिर्भक्तिर्प्रसीद्यति ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यम् आख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोज्यते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम्.
Yes, Vaishnava Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jivva vegam udrapastha vegam etan vegan yuvisheta dhira sarvam apimam prithvi sashishya.
All of you also chant. Don't unmute yourself. When one is chanting, others also should chant. It will become a practice. Yes. Chant.
Krishna. Second verse. अत्याहार प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रह जनसंगश्च लौल्यंश षड्भिर्भक्ति विनश्यति. And third verse. उत्साहनिश्चयधैर्य तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागा सतो वृत्ति षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसीद्यति. And fourth verse. ददाति प्रतिगुणाति गुह्यम् आख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोज्यते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम्. हरे कृष्ण.
Very nice. Next, Narayan. After that, Dayasagar Prabhu also will chant. Dayasagar Prabhu also will chant all the 4 verses. Mayapur Vasini also will chant all the 4 verses. Then Jumur will chant.
वाचो वेगम मनस क्रोध वेगम जिह्वा वेगम उदर उपस्थ वेगम एतान् वेगान् यो विषयेत धीरः सर्वामपि मां पृथ्वीं शशिष्यात् अत्याहार प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रहः जनसंघश्च लौल्यं च षड्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति उत्साहा निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तः कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागा सतो वृत्तेः षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यमाख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम्.
You chanted without seeing?
You only trained me.
ठीक है. Dayasagar.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udaropastha vegam etam vegam yo vishaheta dhiraha sarvam apimam prithivim sashishyam. Atyaharat prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha maulyascha षड्भिर् भक्तिर्विनश्यति उत्साहान् निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सत्त्ववृत्तेः भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति सद्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यम् आख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम्.
Very good. Mayapur Vasini, Viharini. Mayapur.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Why your videos are
Hare
always off?
Krishna Dandat Pranam.
Why your videos are always off? How will I understand you are in the class?
Not-
I know you are very sincere, but still. Okay.
वाचो वेगं मनस क्रोध वेगं जिह्वा वेगं उदर उपस्थ वेगं एतान् वेगान् यो विषयेत धीर सर्वां इमां पृथिवीं सशिष्यात् अत्याहार प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रह जनसङ्गश्च लौल्यश्च षड्भिर्भक्ति विनश्यति उत्साहात् निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यम् आख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्भिः प्रीतिलक्षणम्.
Jumur.
वाचो वेगं मनसा क्रोधवेगं जीवा वेगम् उदरपस्थवेगम् एतान् वेगान् यो विषयेत धीरः सर्वामपि मां पृथिवीं च शिष्यात् अत्याहारः प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रहः जनसङ्गश्च लौल्यं च षड्भिर्भक्ति विनश्यति उत्साहात् निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यम् आख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम्.
Once it so happened, in Guru Maharaj had come to the temple, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He said these 11 verses should be memorized. These 11 verses are the nectar. If Bhagavad Gita is compared to milk, then these 11 verses are compared to ghee. Because after milk, what happens? You have to remove the butter, you have to make it dahi, then remove the butter, and then afterwards remove the cream, and then only you can make butter. And then you can make ghee. That means the most condensed form of the milk is ghee. So these 11 verses are compared to ghee. Okay. Now, 5th verse. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranatabhischa bhajantamisham shushushaya bhajana vekyamananyamanya nindadishunyardamipsita sangalabdhyam Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta. Chant after me. I will chant one time, there I should see everyone's mouth. Because after this, all these verses are going to be very tough. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta. Dikshati chet pranatabhischa bhajantamisham. Dikshati chet pranatabhischa bhajantamisham. Shushrooshaya bhajana vigyamananyamanya. Shushrooshaya bhajana vigyamananyamanya. Nindadishunyardamipsital sangalabdhya. Nindadishunyardamipsita sangalabdhya. We'll chant the first verse. Okay. Vishwambar
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna
can you try out?
Hare
Wait.
Krishna Mataji.
So, okay, come.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, धन्यवाद।
Okay, chant.
कृष्णे यस्य गिरितं मनसा क्रियेता दीक्षातिश्चेत प्रणातिभिः च भजन्तम् इदं शुश्रूष्य
दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतभिश्च भजन्तमीशम्
भजन्तम् इशं शुश्रूषया भजन विज्ञानं
अनन्यमन्य
अनन्यम् अन्य निन्दादिशून्या हृदम् ईप्सिता संगलब्ध्या.
When we did sometime 15 years before, when we did, one person was just stuck up in the shushusha. He could not go ahead. I was remembering that scene. Okay, Kamalakshmi Mataji chant. Kamalakshmi.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I don't know when I'm going to pronounce your name properly.
Kaisa, it's okay Mataji. Kamalakshmi okay Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Krishne Tiyashya Kiridam Manasha Kriyeta Tikshasti Sid Pranatipsha Bhajantam Nisham Shushrusaya Bhajanta Vignam Ananyamanya Ninta Disunya Radam Ipsita Sangalapya.
You tried all, but so many. Okay. Narayan will chant.
कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतभिश्च भजन्तमीशं शुश्रूषया भजन विज्ञमनन्यमन्य निन्दादिशून्यरितमीप्सित संगलब्ध्या.
Chant again.
कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतभिश्च भजन्तमीशं शुश्रूषया भजन विज्ञमनन्यमन्य निन्दादिशून्यरिदमिप्सति संगलब्ध्या.
Vaishnava Prabhu, please chant.
कृष्णेति यस्य अग्रितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत प्रणतिभिश्च भजन्तमीशं शुश्रूष्य चेत प्रणतिभिश्च भजन्तमीशं शुश्रूष्य भजन विज्ञम् अनन्याम्
शुश्रूषया भजन विज्ञमनन्यमन्य
शुश्रूषया भजन विज्ञम् अनन्यमन्य निन्दादिशून्य हृदम् ईप्सित संगलब्ध्य.
Very good. Krishna Priya Mataji. Today your vessels are seen.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I'm preparing dinner. Today I could not complete my work. Krishneti tasya giritam manasandriyeta Dikshasti chet pranati visravajanti misram Susrushaya bhajana vigna mananya manya Ninda disunya hrudamipsita sangalagya.
Second line. Dikshati chet pranatabhischa bhajantamisham.
Dikshasti chet pranati misra bhajanti misham.
Jumur chant.
कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतिभिश्च भजन्तमीशं शुश्रूषया भजन विज्ञमनन्यमन्य निन्दादिशून्यहितमीप्सित संगलभ्या.
Dayasagar Prabhu chant.
कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतिभिश्च भजन्तमीशं शुश्रूषाया भजना Chanyam Ananyamanya Nidadi Shunya Hridam Ipsita Sangalabhya
Nindadishunyardamipsita. Nindadishunyardam ipsita. Sangalabhya. Chant last line.
Nindadi Shunya Hridam Ipsita
Sangalabhya.
Sangalabhya.
Okay. Krishneti yasya giritam. How should be our dealings? Krishna, the holy name of Lord Krishna. Iti thus. Yasya, of whom, giri, in the words or speech, tam, him, manasaha, by the mind, adriyataha, one must use an adar, adriyata. That means one must honor. Diksha, initiation. Asti, there. Cheta, if. Pranati, vishcha, by observances. Cha. Also, bhajatam, bhajantam, engage in devotional service, isham, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shushrusha, by personal service. Bhajana vikyam, one who is advanced in devotional service. Ananyam, ananyam, without deviation. Anya ninda adi, of blasphemy of others, etc. Shunya, completely devoid. Hridam, whose heart. Ipsita, desirable. Sangha, association. Tapthya, by gaining. So translation goes like this. One should mentally honor the devotees who chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer obeisances to the devotees who has undergone spiritual initiation, Diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. So you have three categories of devotees here. First is somebody is just chanting even one time Krishna's name, is interested in chanting. Immediately you should mentally honor the devotee. Even if he is interested in chanting, just is interested in chanting the holy name. He has yet not got any initiation, but is interested in chanting the holy name. You should offer, mentally you should offer obeisances. Now somebody has got initiation, that means he's committed to the process. Then you should pay obeisances to the devotee. One is mentally honor, one is pay obeisances to one who is engaged in worshipping the deity. That means is committed to the process. And then whom he should serve that pure devotee who is devoid of any propensity to criticize others. So he doesn't have any criticizing tendency. Nindadi shunyam hridamipsita sangalabhya. To that person you should go and associate. He is a pure devotee. Like yesterday we saw, devotional service is pure. The path itself is pure. So one who is walking, one who has walked ahead, one who is just walking, one who is in the middle. So there are three types of devotees. One is Kanishta, one is Madhyama, one is Uttama. Kanishta is a neophyte devotee. So he is interested to come to the temple, take darshan of Lord. You should mentally honor the devotee. Very good, wonderful, appreciate. He is not much interested in taking association of devotees. He comes, he takes darshan, he chants, he likes, and he goes. There is a Madhyam Adhikari Bhakta. He gets committed to the process. He wants to study the Shastras. He wants to serve the deities. Now, what is the difference between Kanishta and Madhyama? Madhyama is now committed and he likes association of devotees. Kanishta is not interested in any association. Kanishta just comes to the temple, ding dong bell, just prays and goes away. But Madhyama likes to associate with the devotee and study the Shastras. So then what you should do? You should pay obeisances to the devotee. Now, Uttam Adhikari, he is not only committed to the process, he not only knows the Shastras, Madhyama also knows the Shastras, but Madhyama has the faith in Shastra but doesn't know the Shastra completely or cannot present his argument with others. He has faith in the Shastras, no doubt. He also studies the Shastras, but he cannot refute any wrong philosophy. But Uttama not only knows the Shastras, but can present the right philosophy and refute the wrong philosophy. And Uttama is not seeing any difference between devotee, non-devotee. He can deal with everyone. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he went to West, he did not say that I just want to associate with the devotees. Uttamadhikari Bhaktas can deal with everyone. Madhyamadhikari Bhakta is advised to be in the association of devotees because he can get carried away, or if a non-devotee is there, or if a person is not interested in devotional service, if he places some argument, Madhyamadhikari Bhakta will only get frustrated. He will not know how to present the topic. Is better is don't associate with the persons who are not interested in devotional service. That is why it is advised. Don't associate. Uttama knows, not only associates with everyone, but he can refute wrong philosophies. And Uttamadhikari Bhakta will not criticize anyone. He doesn't have the nature of criticizing anyone. Can we say Madhyama is unable to apply the knowledge gained from the scriptures? He doesn't yet know how to apply, and he doesn't know also. He doesn't know completely. Both are things are there. Yes, sir. Dayasagar Prabhu. Anupama has a doubt or Dayasagar? Okay, Anupama. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, you said that Uttama, if they don't associate to Madhyama devotees, so how they get a chance to have association of Uttama devotees? Then there will be a clash.
Wait. I have not completed only. No? Questions are also always the last. No? Okay. Now see, let us go from down again. Neophyte devotees interested in temple, coming, worshipping, going. Mentally honor them. Madhyama has faith in the scriptures, started reading the scriptures, has faith in not only in Lord, but also the devotees. Doesn't know how to apply the scriptures that is there, but he should know also the scriptures fully. He is not fully conversant with the scriptures. He is advised not to associate with those who are not interested in devotional service. Uttamadhikari Bhakta can deal with everyone. He can deal with Madhyama also. He can deal with Kanishta also. He can deal with a devotee. He can deal with a person who is not interested in devotional also. But he doesn't have criticizing nature. He sees everybody as a patient. He doesn't criticize anyone. He has a compassionate attitude. Sometimes for preaching purpose, even Uttama has to come to the level of Madhyama and keep those people not interested in devotional service aside. Just because the people who are assembled there will be disturbed by the attitude of those who are not in devotional service. So sometimes to keep the society together, he may keep them away, but he has no criticizing attitude. We'll take your questions in the last. Okay, hold the question. Read the purport. Okay. Ashok Aneja Prabhu, read the purport.
Hare Krishna. In order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocations mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper persons with careful discrimination. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advises that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way according to their particular status. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with three types of devotees: the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari is a neophyte who has received the Harinam initiation from the spiritual master and is trying to chant the holy name of Krishna. One should respect such a person within his mind as a Kanishta Vaishnava. A Madhyam Adhikari has received spiritual initiation from the spiritual master and has been fully engaged by him in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Madhyama Adhikari should be considered to be situated midway in devotional service. The Uttamadhikari or highest devotee is one who is very advanced in devotional service. An Uttamadhikari is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean and he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. According to Srila Rupa Goswami, the association and service of such a Mahabhagavata or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable. One should not remain a Kanishta Adhikari, one who is situated.
So here see what has been given. Kanishta Adhikari is one who has received Harinam Sankirtan. They are also categorized. In the olden times, it was not delayed much. Even in 6 months association or in 1 year association, Harinam is to be given very quickly. Nowadays, Harinam initiation also they are taking 4 years, 5 years, sometimes 10 years also. You have to do Bhakti Shastri and all those things. In the old times, it was not much. When Prabhupada wrote, that time it was not so strict. Harinam's initiation, if somebody is interested, immediately Harinam initiation, you can chant the holy name. The spiritual initiation is Brahman initiation. That is given only after a strict training program. Nowadays, from the beginning only, the person is made into a Brahmin. Yes, and then he has to study Bhakti Shastri, he has to strictly follow the rules and regulations in this way. So little bit, if you see now, if you compare, then Kanishta is one who is chanted. Madhyama, by the time 4-5 years, he is already studying the scriptures. So that is why he is as good as getting a Brahman initiation. That much strictness is there. Sometimes some Guru Maharaj is taking 10 years to give even Harinam initiation also. But anyhow, following Prabhupada's statements, Kanishta is one who has received Harinam initiation, and Madhyama is one who has received spiritual initiation, that is Brahman initiation, and Uttama is one who is very advanced in devotional service. Okay. Read further, Ashok.
Yes. One should not remain a Kanishta Adhikari, one who is situated on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshipping the deity in the temple. Such a devotee is described in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.47. Acharyam eva hare pujam ya shraddha yehate natad bhakteshu chanyeshu sa bhakta prakta samrata. A person praktah samrataha praktah samrataha prakrata. Okay, right. Sa bhakta prakrata samrataha. A person who is very smrataha. Sa bhakta prakrata smrataha.
Acharyameva hare pujam yah shraddhaye hate na tad bhakteshu chanishu sa bhakta prakrutah smrataha.
Is it Archyam or Acharyam? It's Archyam.
Sorry, Archayam eva hare. Archayam, that means he is interested only in Archavika. Archayam eva hare, and doing worship us. I and God, nobody in between. Pujam eva shraddhaye hate. He has that much faith. He will worship us, he will worship the deities. But he doesn't know how to behave with na tad bhakteshu chanyeshu, doesn't know how to behave with the devotees. Na bhakta sa bhakta prakrutah smrataha. So that person is known as prakruta bhakta or Kanishta Adhikari. But he is Adhikari, yeah? You should understand. He is Adhikari. That means he has Adhikar for devotional service. He has the right to perform devotional service. So one should not just think, oh, he is a Kanishta. He is a Kanishta Adhikari. Very important, this word is Adhikari. Read further.
A person who is very faithfully engaged in the worship of the deity in the temple, but who does not know how to behave towards devotees or people in general is called a Prakrit Bhakta or Kanishta Adhikari. One therefore has to raise himself from the position of Kanishta Adhikari to the platform of Madhyama Adhikari. The
Okay,
Madhyama
stop here.
Adhikari.
Stop. Vandana Mataji, read from here. Where is Vandana Mataji? Okay. Sudha Mataji, you read. Unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. One therefore has to raise himself from the position of Kanist Adhikari to the platform of Madhyam Adhikari. The Madhyam Adhikari is described in Srimad Bhagavatam in this way. Ishware tad adhineshu balisheshu divashatshu prema maitri kripopeksha yah karoti sa madhyamah. The Madhyam Adhikari is a devotee who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the highest object of love, makes friends with the Lord's devotees, is merciful to the ignorant, and avoids those who are envious by nature. This is the way to cultivate devotional service properly. Therefore, in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has advised us how to treat various devotees. We can see from practical experience that there are different types of Vaishnavas. The Prakriti Sahajiyas generally chant the Hare
Prakrita Sahajiyas.
Prakrita Sahajiyas generally chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, yet they are attached to women, money, and intoxication. Although such persons may chant the holy name of the Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such people should be respected within one's mind, but their associations should be avoided. Those who are innocent but simply carried away by bad association should be shown favor if they are eager to receive proper instructions from pure devotees. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the orders of the spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisances. In this Krishna consciousness movement, a chance is given to everyone without discrimination of caste, creed, or color. Everyone is invited to join this movement. Sit with us, take prasad, and hear about Krishna. When we see that someone is actually interested in Krishna consciousness and wants to be initiated, we accept him as a disciple for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. When a neophyte devotee is actually initiated and engaged in devotional service by the orders of the spiritual master, he should be accepted immediately as a bona fide Vaishnava, and obeisances should be offered unto him. Out of many such Vaishnavas, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in the service of the Lord and strictly following all the regulative principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds on japa beads, and always thinking of how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttam Adhikari, a highly advanced devotee, and his association should always be sought. The process by which...
So here what has been told, that somebody is interested in Krishna consciousness, then he takes initiation and starts chanting the holy name, he should be respected. And then more training is given. When more training is given, then he is more seriously engaged in the service of Lord. He follows the rules and regulations very strictly, chants the prescribed rounds of the japas, and he always thinks, what he's thinking, of how to expand Krishna consciousness. And slowly, that devotee comes to the platform of Madhyama, then goes to the platform of Uttama. Sometimes Uttama has to come to the platform of Madhyama to propagate Krishna consciousness. So such a Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttamadhikari, a highly advanced devotee. His association should be sought. Okay. So then what is most important is how to train the neophytes. Neophytes, slowly the training is given. Initially the neophytes, Kanishta has to be cared more. Even if he is not initiated, he is getting the Harinam. He has to be cared. Actually, in this, you don't have to have a Diksha ceremony. Even when you enter Krishna consciousness, you are given Harinam by your spiritual master. That itself becomes, officially it is an Harinam initiation, but actually Harinam happens. The initiation happens the moment you enter. A real Diksha ceremony is the Brahman initiation, where you are committed to the deity, where you can serve the deity in the temple. That is Brahman initiation. Harinam initiation is just a formal initiation. It's just a formal initiation. As soon as you come in contact with Krishna consciousness, you are given Harinam initiation. Every devotee is chanting Harinam. Then what is the difference between Diksha and just chanting Harinam? Now you have committed even to the Harinam. After that, you get committed to the service of the Lord. See, your first is you have got Harinam. You don't know whether you are committed or not. Sometimes you may chant, sometimes you may not chant. But you have got Harinam. The moment you start committing yourself to the Harinam initiation and slowly getting trained to do the deity worship, there comes Brahman initiation. And afterwards, you are more interested in propagating the holy name, in propagating Krishna consciousness to everyone, setting up the principles, giving the principles to others. And that is Uttamadhikari. Okay. Anupama, read from here.
Krishna Mataji, I'm back, so I can read next time if you tell me.
Yeah, I told you to read now. Okay. Read.
Mataji, but there's somebody at the door that time. So I can read later. I'm just wanted to tell you.
Okay, let Anupama read, then afterwards you read. I thought how Anupama's voice has become like yours. Read.
The process of which a devotee becomes attached to Krishna is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Antya 4.192.
What did you say now? Chaitanya?
Chaitanya Charitamrita. Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samarpana. Sai kale Krishna tare kare atma sama. At the time of
Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samarpan. Sei kale Krishna tare
kare
atma sama.
At the time of initiation, when a devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him to be as good as he himself. Diksha or spiritual initiation is explained in the Bhakti Sandarbha 283 by Srila Jiva Goswami.
1 minute. What happens at the time of Diksha? The devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord. Then Krishna considers him Atma Sama, as good as himself. Okay. Sandarbha.
Divyam Jnanam Jato Dadyat Puryat Papasya Sangshayam Tasmat Diksheti Sa Prokta De Sikhes Tattva Kovi Dehe. By Diksha, one gradually becomes disinterested in material enjoyment and gradually becomes interested in spiritual life. We have seen many practical examples of this, especially in Europe and America. Many students who have come to us from rich and respectable family quickly lose all interest in material enjoyment and become very eager to enter into the spiritual life. Although they come from a very wealthy families, Many of them accept living conditions that are not very comfortable. Indeed, for Krishna's sake, they are prepared to accept any living condition as long as they can live in the temple and associate with the Vaishnavas. When one becomes so disinterested in material enjoyment, he becomes fit for initiation by the spiritual master. For the advancement of spiritual life, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.113 prescribes tapsa brahmacharyena
tapasa brahmacharyena shamena cha damena cha.
Tapsa brahmacharyena shamena cha damyena cha. When a person is serious about accepting Diksha, he must be prepared to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of the mind and body. If one is so prepared and is desirous of receiving spiritual enlightenment, Divyam Jnanam, he is fit for being initiated. Divya Jnanam is technically called Tat Vijnana, or knowledge about the Supreme. Tat Vijnanartham sa gurum eva bhigachat. When one
eva
bhigachet. When one is interested in the transcendental subject matter of the absolute truth, he should be initiated. Such a person should approach a spiritual master in order to take Diksha. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.321 also prescribes Tasmat Gunam Prapadeyata Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. When one is actually interested in the transcendental science of the absolute truth, he should approach a spiritual master. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instruction, nor should one accept a spiritual master just to take a fashionable show of spiritual life. One must be jigyasu, very much inquisitive, to learn from a bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science. Jigyashu Shreya Uttamam. That word Uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge. Tama means the darkness of the material world, and Tu means transcendental. Generally, people are very interested in inquiring about mundane subject matters, but when one has lost his interest and is simply interested in transcendental subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. When one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as Madhyama Adhikari.
One. Now see again here, if you see, Srila Prabhupada says if he is interested in Harina, honor him, respect him. Now he's actually initiated, then he's Madhyama Adhikari. So now there is two versions. One is he's initiated in Harinam, he's started. Then he's interested in serving the deities more. So Brahman initiation. Anyhow, in both the things, Harinam is there. But Gayatri is also given so that one can serve the deities more nicely. Uttama. Uttama, this meaning is very important. Transcendental to tamas. Okay. Vandana read.
Hare Krishna. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself. One who has reached such an understanding.
There is a verse which has to be chanted before starting the Harinam. You can search that verse, Nama Chintamani Krishnas. I'll put that verse in the group also. Try to memorize this verse. Nama Chintamani Krishnas, Chaitanya Rasavikraha, Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatvam Nama Naminoho. This is that verse. Now, there is no difference between holy name and Krishna. Nama Chintamani Krishnas. So name is Chintamani. Chintamani. Free from all the anxieties. Nama Chintamani. Chintamani is also the jewel. Nama Chintamani Krishnas. Chaitanya, it is full life force. Chaitanya, Rasavigraha, Vigraha, person. Name is also a person. And then Purna Shuddho, it is Purna, complete. Purna Shuddho, Nitya, Mukto, Abhinatvam, Nama Naminohom. Okay, read.
One who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotee. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy name of the Lord, offenselessly, one cannot be proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22.69, it is said, Yahar komal shraddha se kanishta jana kare kare krame krame tene hoye bhakta habe uttama. One whose faith is soft and fallible is called a neophyte, but by gradually following the process, he will rise to platform of a first-class devotee. Everyone begins his devotional service from neophyte stage, but if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of Harinam, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform, Uttam Adhikari. The Krishna conscious movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate for long periods by chanting on beats. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. However, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of japa, 100,000 names, he is considered fallen, patit. According to the calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness without duplicity, we can accept the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen. When
So according to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, we are all fallen, isn't it? We are not chanting 64 rounds. Srila Prabhupada says, but we are trying to serve. We are trying to serve with all seriousness. So we can expect mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay.
When Srila Satyaraj Khan, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked the Lord how a Vaishnava should be recognized, the Lord replied, Prabhu kahe yare mukhe shuni ek baar Krishna naam soi puje shreshta sabakar. If one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man of the common group. Chaitanya Charitamrita 15.1.106. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued. Attev yare mukha ek Krishna nama seite Vaishnava kare tahar sammana. One is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's name should be accepted as Vaishnava and offered respect such as at least with one's mind. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 15.111. One of our friends, a famous English musician, has become attracted to chanting of holy name of Krishna, and even in his records have several times mentioned the holy name of Krishna. At his home, he offers respect to the picture of Krishna and also to the preacher of Krishna consciousness. In all regards, he has a very high estimation for Krishna's name and Krishna's activities. Therefore, we offer respect to him without reservation, for we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. A person should always be shown respect. The conclusion is that anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting the holy name should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we have witnessed that some of our contemporaries who are supposed to be great preachers have gradually fallen into material concept of life because they have failed to chant the holy name of Lord.
Okay. So, what is the success of advancing? It is chanting seriously and sincerely. That is the success for a person to progress from neophyte to Uttamadhikari Bhakta. Srila Prabhupada says that there were great preachers who fell into the materialistic conception just because they failed to chant the holy name of Lord. Okay, Narayan, read.
Am I good? While giving instruction of Sanatan Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service into three categories. Shastra Yukti Nahi Jane Dridha Shraddhavan Madhyama Adhikari Se Mahabhagyavan. A person whose conclusive knowledge of the Shastras is not very strong, but who has developed firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and who is also undeterred in the execution of his prescribed devotional service should be considered a Madhyama Adhikari. Such a person is very fortunate. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 22.67. A Madhyama Adhikari is Shraddhavan, a staunchly faithful person, and he is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Therefore, in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 22.64, it is said, Shraddhavan jana hai bhakti adhikari uttama madhyama kanishta shraddha anusari. One becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, and the highest platform of devotional service according to the development of his Shraddha faith. Again, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22.62, it is said, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Sudrudha Nishchaya Krishne Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Haya. By rendering transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confident, firm faith, favorable to the discharge of devotional service, is called Shraddha. Shraddha, faith in Krishna, is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Faith means strong faith. The words of Bhagavad Gita are authoritative instructions for faithful men. And whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is to be accepted as it is without interpretation. This was the way Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna told Krishna, Sarvam etadritam manye yan mam vadasi Keshava. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. 10.14.
Okay. So the key success for everything is Shraddha, the faith. Shraddha Shraddha Vishwasa Kahe Sudrudha Nishchaya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Kritaya. That faith should be there. Shraddha word comes from the word Shraddha. So what is Shraddha? Offering the oblations, oblation to the forefathers. So what is it oblation? The food which is given first to Krishna, Krishna Prasadam. So this word Shraddha comes from the word Shraddha, Shraddha, Shabda, Vishwasa Kahe. That firm faith, Vishwasa Kahe, Sudrul Nishchaya. One should be determined in serving Krishna. Krishna Bhakti Kaile. You are doing Krishna Bhakti, that is enough. Krishna Bhakti Kaile, Sarva Karma Kruta Haya. You have already performed all the activities. You don't have to perform any other activity. Even to such an extent, Devarshi Bhuta Pranam Pitranam Naking Karunayam Rini Charajan. You are not rini for anyone. Provided Sarvatmana Ya Sharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Paharutta Kartam, first chapter Bhagavad Gita, if you see, 44th or 45th verse, see there. The purport Prabhupada has given this verse. You are no more indebted to Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, Apta, Lunam, Pitrulam. You are not indebted to anybody if you have completely given yourself to Krishna. Sarvatmana Ya Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Paharutta Kartam. Then you are free from all the activities. Even if you are performing, you are just performing as a duty or as an obligation, just to set an example. Okay, Gadi Prabhu, read from here.
Hare Krishna Mataji. This is correct. This is the correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita, and this is called Shraddha. It is not that one accepts a portion of Bhagavad Gita according to his own whimsical interpretation and then rejects another portion. This is not Shraddha. Shraddha means accepting the instructions of Bhagavad Gita in their totality, especially the last instruction, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. He says, I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Don't fear. When one becomes completely faithful in regard to this instruction, one's strong faith becomes basis for advancing in spiritual life. When one fully engages in chanting,
when one becomes completely faithful in regard to this instruction, then what happens? He becomes his faith becomes more stronger. Sarvadharman parityaja. It's not so easy to give up everything, especially the old traditions. It's not so easy to give up. There are certain prakruta, that means local festivals, which is not given in the Shastras, but because it is coming in traditions, people go on doing that. But it is not so easy to give up everything and take shelter of Krishna. But if one does that, then his faith becomes more stronger, and that becomes his basis for advancing in spiritual life. Okay, read.
Krishna. When one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. Unless one faithfully chants the Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself.
Jivado Swayameva Smurtyadaha. In your Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you are going to get all these verses. Sevan Mukhehi Jivado Swayameva Smurti Adaha. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhaved Graya Mindriyahi. Sevan Mukhehi Jivado Swayameva Smurti Adaha. The verse goes like this. Ata Shri Krishna Nama Adi. Nama Adi means Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, his devotees. It's not so easy to understand by our material senses. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved rayam indriyahi. It's not so easy to understand Krishna or to serve Krishna by one's own senses. Sevon mukhehi jivado. If you have the service attitude, Krishna automatically reveals himself. Sevon mukhehi jivado. Swayameva spurtiyada. He automatically teaches everything.
We cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any artificial means. We must engage faithfully in the service of the Lord. Such service begins with the tongue, Sevon Mukhei Jivado, which means that we should always chant the holy names of the Lord and accept Krishna Prasada. We should not chant or accept anything else. When this process is faithfully followed, the Supreme Lord reveals himself to the devotee.
Actually, this word Sevon Mukhehi Jivado Swayameva Spurtiyada, this is the words which I heard for the first time from my Shiksha Guru. When he had come to our house, I was performing deity worship. At the time, he asked me, who taught you deity worship? I said, I don't know. But I thought I'm doing something wrong. He was very happy to see that step by step the process was going perfectly. At the time, he said that because you have the tendency to serve, because we used to do a lot of marathon, distribute 10,000 books, 8,000 books, like this, he used to do a lot of marathon, serve the devotees. At the time, he told this verse, that you don't have to learn anything. If you have the serving attitude, Krishna himself will give this knowledge. Sevon mukaihi jivado swayameva spurtyaha. So this verse is very, very dear, because this was the first time I heard this verse when my Shiksha Guru told this. Okay.
When a person realizes himself to be an eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Krishna service. Always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy name of the Krishna. He understands that his only business is in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized as Uttama Adhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the 6 processes: Dadati, Prati, Grihanati, etc. Indeed, the advanced Uttamadhikari, Vaishnava, devotee, should be accepted as spiritual master. Everything one purchases should be offered to him, for it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavata without being self-realized, for by such imitation one will eventually become degraded. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. The devotee should also know his own position and should not try to imitate a devotee situated on a higher platform. Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect of Uttamadhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttamadhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform, or it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of the life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, disciples should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So a spiritual master, if he is, unless he is Uttamadhikari, he cannot be recognized as a spiritual master. If he is calling himself spiritual master, he should be Uttamadhikari Akta. Okay, now we'll take the Anupama Mataji's question. Yes. Yes, Anupama.
Mataji, it is clear, yeah. When you read, so it's clear. But sometimes there are clashes from a Uttama Adhikari and Madhyama Adhikari. They think they try to be a nice and they want to show their fulfillment, what they are doing. And Uttama Adhikari, they wonder if, and they want to keep a distance. And then I think, yeah, because I put myself here just in a degrade level, yeah, that when I try to do something, if somebody find the problem or a mistake, so I feel, yeah, I'm trying and that somebody is not making me clear thing. So I feel that person is bringing a distance between me. And
Happens. When we do something, generally we expect appreciation. But sometimes it is not happening. There's no appreciation. In fact, there is only criticism. Accept it. Anyhow, everything is a game of Maya only. Maya tests the devotees also. And the test is, first the test is from the outsiders. Then the test comes within the family itself. So one should not be disheartened. One should just continue his services and beg to Srila Prabhupada and his acharyas to bestow mercy. Lot of test is there in devotional service. Especially when you reach to Madhyama, from Madhyama to go to Uttama, it is like it is very easy to from neophyte to come to Madhyama, but from Madhyama to go to Uttama, lot of tests will be there. So you're advancing, isn't it? When you're a child, your portions are very less. Your test is also very simple. But when you go in higher mediums, naturally your test is higher. You have to practice more. Okay. Vaishnav Gaur Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, I have 2 questions or doubts. Last paragraph, a neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples. But such disciples, so is it a guideline that they can accept disciples, or is it it is a warning to the disciples?
It's a warning. It is a warning. Don't accept disciples because you don't have much. You know knowledge. You have the knowledge, but you don't know. You don't have more informations. A little bit here and there. That is why it's very dangerous to accept disciples. Because mostly all are on the equal level. On equal level, you cannot make disciples.
Yes. And
the warning has been given.
Second, when here the spiritual master, when it is mentioned, is it about any like Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, or is specifically Diksha Guru?
Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, both.
Both.
Shiksha Guru, if coming under the category of Uttamadhikari. What is the category of Uttamadhikari? He should have the tendency to expand Krishna consciousness. He should have the tendency to meet all type of people. He can have the capacity to meet all the type of people. Shiksha Guru are also at different levels. Now, which level Shiksha Guru is? Is he having the attitude to preach, to expand the movement, or just to give some information? There are many Shiksha Gurus also just giving information but not taking up any responsibilities. So they are also Shiksha Gurus only. But that is why it is said, Uttamadhikari has to come to the platform of Madhyamadhikari to preach. Actually, Uttamadhikari has nothing to do. He can remain even alone also. He can just go somewhere and write the books and be peaceful. But he has to come to the level of Madhyamadhikari and preach and mix with people. And sometimes he has to keep the devotees and non-devotees separate. Uttamadhikari doesn't see difference between the devotees and non-devotees. He has the eligibility to mix with everybody and is not carried away. So it's a very tough thing to. It's not just a Shiksha Guru is one title. Shiksha Gurus are also at different levels.
Okay. So anyone can be Disha Guru. He can show the direction, but at the level of Shiksha Guru, either it should be at least.
Shiksha Guru will always be at the level of Uttamadhikari only.
Yes.
Diksha Guru is always at the level of Uttamadhikari. Shiksha Gurus can be at the level of Madhyama or Uttama. Sometimes Uttama, but will come in the category of Madhyama. Anyone else?
Okay, Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, what are the 4 characteristics of Madhyamadhikari? 4. Because I think I missed this.
4 categories.
Characteristics of Madhyamadhikari.
First is what? Who can tell what is first? What is the first?
He is fixed up in the process. He has a firm faith in the process.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Interested in meeting the devotees and studying the Shastras.
Yes. Interested in meeting the devotees. Then third. Interested in studying the Shastras.
Okay.
Fourth. Keeps away envious people.
Yes. He is away from the non-devotees. He keeps himself away from the non-devotees.
Okay.
Read this at least 10 times. This verse. Because it is dealing with the devotees. We have to honor, we have to pay respect, we can pay obeisances, but we have to serve also. Whom to serve, whom to pay obeisances, whom we should mix with, whom we should take guidelines from. You cannot take guidelines from any of our devotees. You cannot take guidelines even from a Madhyamadhikari. But you can take, provided he has some knowledge of the scriptures, to some extent you can take. But service and more guidelines only with the Uttamadhikari Bhakta. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So stop here.